I've let these thoughts ruminate in my head for a while because I think this subject makes sense, but I needed to work it out in my head first before making a video about this. But now, boys, I think I'm ready. I think I'm gonna bring some nice arguments to the table and I'm gonna try to prove a point here. The thing is, there is nothing more spiritual than being with your boys together around a campfire or in a pub or playing a sport or go fishing, something like that. There is something very tribal, there's something very natural that occurs in your way of feeling, in your way of thinking when you are with your boys. It is very hard to explain because this is something you have to feel yourself, you have to experience it yourself. I cannot really stand here in front of the camera and project it to you because it is impossible, but there is something very healing about it, something very healthy about being with a friend group that you trust, that you like, and feeling like you're part of the pack. I think 99% of all the mental illnesses in men that are inflicted by society will heal if guys hang out together more with other guys and do some interesting activity. A lot of people today are depressed, especially young guys. They are feeling that they're let down by society, and you can't really blame them. But I think the solution is very, very simple. You just need to be with a friend group and you need to spend some time together and do some even degenerate shit. I don't think it's gonna be anything bad long term if you don't do it too much. I think it actually can help you. Now, we have a lot of social communal issues right now when it comes to people hanging out together because there are more and more antisocial people, there are more and more isolated people, and even people who are generally social, they have been more atomized and more individualized. And this has happened to everybody on a scale. Some people have experienced it more, some less, but I think we're all being compromised right now when it comes to this whole atomization of the society. Now, that is not great, and this impacts how much young people, young guys can hang out with other young guys. And I think this is a problem because as a person, you develop so much by hanging out with your mates and sharing experiences with them, talking about things, talking about some random stories. I mean, the story time around the campfire is probably one of the best things you can do as a young dude. I know there is nothing that you're gonna gain from it materialistically or whatever you have in mind, but there is something fundamental that's gonna fuel you as a person, that's gonna just fuel your spirit, and it's gonna heal you deep down. It's gonna heal the root of many of your problems that you're experiencing on a psychological or mental level. Sounds very nice, almost too good to be true, but in this case, it is too good and it is true. Because a lot of young dudes grow up living like this. A lot of young guys go through life, through their youth, doing a bunch of random bullshit with their boys. And some of them stop. Most of them don't stop because they don't want to do it anymore. Some of them move away. Some of them get girlfriends and change for the better or for the worse. And or most of the people have more responsibilities like school or a job, and it changes them fundamentally. It changes the way they think, the way they perceive things, and it fundamentally makes them number as time goes on, because I think this wild spirit in every man is existing throughout his whole life, but we're numbing it down by working more, by kind of obliging to all societal norms that are pressuring us to be this mature guy and not do stupid shit. But I think it is important. I think males are almost designed to be stupid in a way. I mean, we're not stupid as creatures. I mean, I don't want to say that, but I think there is something very animalistic, very tribal that every man wants to do. We tend to do these things, we like to do these things, these tribal stupid things with other boys, because we sense that they're also on the same level, they're also willing to do some random things with you. You know, they might want to go camp somewhere randomly, or just attend some party, try to build a house in the middle of the forest. And these are all things that are slowly disappearing, especially in the West, as more and more people get individualized and less people actually engage in these activities. And I think it is stagnating man's development. It is declining man's mental health, because this is so fundamental. And this is something I have personally done many times with my boys, and there is never ever a time that I regretted it. And this summer we're planning already to do some retarded shit together, and some things that a sane person probably wouldn't do, but who gives a fuck? We don't care, we're gonna do it anyways. When you're in these moments, when you are engaging in such activities, you really forget about all of your problems. You forget about all of these thoughts that you've been having. You're not living in your head, you're really out there, living externally, living as you were designed to live. Because our conscious mind tends to, it's self-destructive in a way. If you are alone for too long, and if you live in your head for too long, your conscious mind tends to eat itself up. And that is how mental illnesses, that's how depression forms, that's how nihilism forms, that's how all these negative thought patterns form, because there is no external factor, and there are no external things that you can put out the thought to, and there are no people you can share experiences with, because you were pre-designed through God's creation, through evolution, through all these factors, to be more outside than inside. The more inside you are, the more stagnant you are in many fields of your life, and mentally and physically. I believe so. I don't know if it's true, but this is what I believe. It is my experience that tells me so, so I'm not gonna deny my experiences. I've felt it and I know how good it is. So I would advise you to ask your boys to do something stupid, even though it might sound untraditional right now, it might sound something that nobody else does. What if somebody sees you, might say, or what if we embarrass ourselves in front of people? Who gives a fuck, man? Do a challenge, throw a dice, and whoever lands the lowest one needs to jump in the river in January. Who gives a fuck? Do it. Like, these are all the things that I think will literally heal men deeply inside. This is something that has been forgotten almost. We all have this label on our foreheads to act socially acceptable. And I'm not telling you to go and rob a bank or something. Don't do things like that. I'm just saying to do something harmless that is gonna be a fun experience and a story that you will tell one day to other people or your kids or whoever it might be. Being a man means being wild sometimes. Adventure heals man. That is what I'm trying to say. Adventure definitely heals man inside. And if you are fighting some symptoms of depression or you feel sad and lonely, try to get an experience like this. I know it's not easy. I don't know where you live, but it is not that easy to get people to want to do these things. But I think we all want to do them. The thing is, the norm is not to do them. So that's why people don't want to do it. But these are the greatest experiences of your life, man. And you should do it while you're young and while you have a lot more free time than later on in life and a lot of more energy than later on in life. So take this advice as you wish. I'm not gonna try to force you, but I think being with the boys and doing adventurous stuff with your boys, doing stupid degenerate shit with your boys is probably the most spiritual thing you can do as a man to help you be happier, be more fulfilled, have stories to tell, grow as a person, become more vibrant of a character in a friend group, be more social. Peace out and have a nice day.